Welcome to Divorcing Crazy. This is episode number 13. It is advised that you watch 1 through 12 before you watch this one because they're all in chronological order, and it would make sense to do that. So, yes, this one is episode 13, and it's called You've Been Served. In our last episode, we had decided to get a divorce. Brady was super young, which really complicated things. And when this whole thing started out, I really thought there would be no question about custody, considering I had been a stay-at-home mom with my child for a very good amount of time. So here's how the divorce conversation went down. So things had felt obviously distant between us, like I had no interest in touching anything anymore, or him, or anything around him. So yeah, I literally started planning my schedule opposite of him. I was already home all day. I was doing medical transcription school. I was collecting unemployment. I was out in the middle of the country. I was kind of home with Brady all day by myself. It got kind of depressing, and to be honest, if I ever wanted to go out and do something, it would just make C mad. So I would go out just to make him mad at that point. I mean, honestly, I was really just trying to piss him off so he'd just want to divorce me. And maybe approach me and say, hey, I didn't know this is who you really were. Like, maybe we shouldn't be together, but he never did. One day we were passing through the kitchen by each other, and we, mind you, had not really been talking a whole lot at this point. I think everything he had said and done was just irritating to me, so I literally stayed clear of him. And he's like, hey, can we talk? And I said, yeah. And he literally just got right into it. And he just said, are we getting a divorce? I mean, that's really just how he started it. So I guess we weren't wasting time. So he's like, are we getting a divorce? And I said, well, I mean, we're not doing well as a married couple. So I mean, why? So just as anybody would have responded, she very quickly responded with, well, but I'm ready for another kid. Aren't you? I think that's what we need. We need another kid. I'm like, are you not hearing me? I was like, dude, we have I don't really feel like that way about you right now. Like, why would we do that? I just said I think, we're not good married, and, I was kind of saying, yeah, I think we're going to get divorced. And he goes, but I just feel like a kid would make things better. Don't you? Don't I? Nope, I'm really not on your page right now, dude. I'm not on your page. Are we having the same conversation, or? I mean, all I could really do is shake my head. I don't even know what to say. So C asked me if I would go to counseling with him, and I agreed. I don't know. It just seemed like the right thing to do was to just agree to do it at the time. So C informed me that he had scheduled the therapy or counseling or whatever it was, whatever his insurance covered. So he said it was going to be on the phone and possibly during his work hours, like he'd be at work and I'd be at home. And I was like, I don't know. It just seemed like more introvert crap. That's all I heard. And then I also realized counseling is not going to change his personality. That's his personality. That's not counseling for couples is usually to figure out what's going on and what's causing the issues in the relationship. And I was like, no, that's a personality issue. I don't like him or his personality. That's what it was. Yeah. So like I didn't do the therapy or counseling. I ditched out like twice, and that's kind of when I think he realized, I don't think she wants to do this. He's right. I mean, basically, I was already done. It was the most mind-numbing relationship I had ever been in, and I was just so done at that point. I wanted out, and that was it. So I told him, no, not going to counseling. Let's just, we had agreed. We agreed. Some of the agreements was like, hey, obviously I'm not working right now. I've been staying home with our child and you're working full time. So let's not do anything hasty until I am working and able to provide for Brady when we split up and move out into different homes. Because at the time we were just in separate rooms. And in some of these talks that we had, he had also decided, when we were talking about who's going to move where, his parents were like 2 towns over. My parents were in Kentucky. His answer was that I moved to Kentucky without my son, to just leave the state. And so he didn't have to move in with his parents. Or I don't know what his reason was, but that sounded a whole lot like just move out of state and don't come back. We were fighting left and right. He was not agreeing on anything. Nothing. Anything I suggested, he wanted opposite. It never ended. Everything I said was a conflict for him. Everything. Like as soon as he'd get home from work, he'd come find Brady, and obviously Brady'd be in a room with me. He'd pick him up, take him to the opposite side of the house or outside to the opposite side of the corner of the yard from where I was, just wherever the furthest way from me was. He played a keep away game every single day after work. As long as I was in that house, he was trying to make sure if he was home, he had Brady, I didn't. And he was trying to make sure like that I couldn't hang out with them. But I mean, who gets up and just leaves a room with a kid? And like, if I followed him to another room, he would do the same thing again. Like within seconds. Oh, there she is. Pick up the kid, leave. Like it was, it's one of those things where you're just like, how do you, I don't find anything normal or grown up about this behavior at all. It was very much so a game of keep away. And I felt like I was doing some weird game with like an 8-year-old. It was scary. It's scary when a grown adult turns into a 5-year-old out of nowhere. It is the scariest thing on the planet. Keep watching this series because you'll find out why. He was the only person who was working in the house at the time, so he stopped buying groceries that I could cook or eat. Everything was just, he went to culinary school, so he was able to cook everything from scratch. So he was buying very raw produce, big bulk frozen meats, like things that he knew I couldn't turn into a meal. Basically, I can't give you the full details because I can cook, but just not, he was making sure to buy things that would make it very difficult for me to eat in my own home because I didn't have money. He also asked me numerous times how I was going to pay for my half of the rent. And he was saying this even before the divorce. He was asking how I was going to pay for my half of things because he treated me like a roommate, not a wife. One day I was upstairs in the house and I heard the doorbell ring, and you freeze out there because you're in the middle of nowhere. You're in the country. Yeah, I was in a suburban, like a neighborhood, but it was like a neighborhood in the country. You don't get people ringing your doorbell. They usually call and say, hey, I'm coming over, or something, or, people are coming over. Considering the escalation of things between me and C, I guess maybe things were on edge already, but I froze and I heard somebody yelling something about, I see you in there. You're being served. You need to answer the door. And I kind of knew what was going on at that point. But the dude, like, I don't know, I think he rang the doorbell for a good 5 minutes before he gave up and went and walked his dog. But yeah, he just kind of hung out in the yard for a good 15, 20 minutes, ringing the doorbell and yelling things through the door. It was a good time. He eventually just left it rolled up and shoved it in the door. And I'm like, well, if you could have just done that from the get-go, why didn't you just do it that way? Why this big scene in the drama? Like, it was pretty ridiculous, and some people need mental help. Just because you serve people doesn't make you somebody. That means you don't have any skills, so you are able to take money in order to hand a paper to somebody. So good for you. Big skills, dude. Big skills. So yeah. He filed for divorce. Even though we made all these agreements and stuff, he still filed and served me so that he could become the petitioner instead of the respondent, because he thought it'd make him look better. And then that's basically where it began. It begins all of the, he wanted everything. He wanted me to have nothing. And it was really clear on all this paperwork what he was trying to do. So episode 14 is going to button that up, all that info for you. So make sure that you tune in for that. Make sure you have watched episodes 1 through 12 before you watch this. And obviously watch this through the whole thing. You might as well subscribe. I mean, you're already here. And I got a bunch more stories to tell. And every single one has got something to make you just kind of think the universe that maybe you don't have to go through what I'm going through. And if maybe you're somebody who's going through some crazy divorce or custody situation, I hope this gives you some kind of hope. It doesn't yet, obviously. We're only on episode 13 and things are getting bad. But we're going to do a bunch of episodes and then we're going to get 14 years down the road and you're going to go, oh! So I just want to let you know it all gets better at some point, and don't ever give up on your kids. Subscribe and make sure you watch me live on Friday nights, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.